Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another interview here with PGL 18. Today, we have someone that went top 32 in both the DLNLWC and Smogon low tier. So someone who competes in very similar tournaments to me, as well as winning the most recent season of the PGL, which is a fantastic achievement. It was a great season, and it was almost 10 months ago, I believe, which is hard to believe. Enoelr, how are you doing today?
It's been so long ago.
Yeah, I know,
Doesn't feel
right?
like that. I mean, it's going well. It's going well. It's been a while since I've played drafts. Actually, I think
Mhm.
PGL was my last tour that I played by myself. I did like a small team tour next to it, but otherwise, it's been like I'm coming in pretty cold. So
Oh,
pretty
wow.
excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, so kind of shaking off a little bit of the rust this season, then it seems like.
Hopefully.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, I go over it with everybody. I'm sure people are going to get sick of me saying the same things over and over. But PGL Season 18 is low tier. It is low tier Terra, and they're super cheap. The budget was super restrictive. We are Nat decks, and the cut moves are all allowed with the exceptions of Hidden Power and Pursuit. With all that being said, you had a relatively later in the draft pick. It looks like you were like number 11. So some of the good stuff had went round one, but you get your second pick a little bit earlier on the way back. So if you want, tell me a little bit about your plan going in. What'd you see? What you like? Did you get the round 1 and 2 you wanted? And how do they play with each other? Go ahead and kind of let me know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, so being pick 11 is always kind of weird because all like the really good stuff is gonna be gone. So I was like looking at stuff like Haxorus and like Mega Aggron. There's like a few in Starmie as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a few really good picks that I could maybe pick up.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all obviously taken, like as they should have,
Yeah.
because people here tend to know what like they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Unfortunately for me and my drafts. But like Sunny Shocks is like something I'm actually pretty happy to pick up here. Like it's a very versatile mon, of course, which is something I personally really value in high tiers. Like I think a good high tier is something you can bring in every matchup. You can it is like a tool to deal with any kind of team you can run into.
Mm-hmm.
So Shocks is like it has good hazard support. It's like surprisingly bulky. Like you can probably EV to live any non-choice hits.
Mm-hmm.
And like so many sets you can run. So it's gonna be well good into most teams, I hope.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I paired it with the Raptor, which I wasn't really planning on doing. I knew I wanted to have something that was like good into grass types,
Mm-hmm.
because that's like of course the thing Sandy Shock struggles most against,
Mm-hmm.
together with like really bulky grounds. But I just didn't really have time to think of a good pick. And Raptor, of course, being my mascot, I kind of had to give it another go. I think it's been like 2 years since I've last used it,
Mm-hmm.
and well, it didn't go too great. So I'm hoping maybe in this like low tier format it can maybe shine a bit more, even though it was really expensive. I think more than it's actually worth. But hopefully it will prove me wrong and it'll actually be really good for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. So when I was looking at your team, I saw that Sandy Shocks go round one, which no surprise. Sandy Shocks, fantastic Pokemon. But as you said, Sandy Shocks is hard stopped by most of the grass types, and low tier grass types are really common. So you really got to round it out
Yeah,
well.
they're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think grabbing probably the predominant grass killer of the league in Staraptor, probably the strongest Brave Bird. I haven't looked at the other Pokemon, but probably the strongest non-Terra Brave Bird in the entire league. Now you're going to be hitting yourself with some recoil probably, but regardless, you have that. And with cut moves back that you knocked out an early defogger as well, you've got some good speed on the board with these two. So I think you've got some fantastic synergy in these early picks. Looking into it a little more though, I see the Magmortar. I remember there was a little bit of a bug that Cham pointed out. Magmortar was originally 3 points. That would have been hilarious to pick up such a cheap Magmortar going in. But I see that as another maybe grass killer you picked up. So once you were kind of in the middle of the draft, so you kind of on the Magmortar, Go-Goat, Uxie part of your draft. How were you feeling? Was the draft still kind of going as planned, or were you kind of winging it, or how'd you feel about that as it went on?
I mean, I was really winging it, to be fair.
Mhm.
I don't usually make plans or very involved plans for my drafts because I feel like every time I make a plan, I'm just gonna get sniped and then the whole plan just falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I was just really happy with the things I was able to get. Like Whimsicott, of course, is like a really good speed tier, like amazing type.
Mm-hmm.
Fairy types, good fairy types at least are hard to come by in this format. And like McMortar you're saying as well, really good into grass types.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a very strong special breaker as well. So like Sandy Shocks doesn't have to be in like that role every week.
Yeah.
Go-Goat, of course, I mean, you know how good it is. Um, it's like also another one of these mons that's really good into ground type, really good into grass types.
Mm-hmm.
Just all kind of like making the things Sandy doesn't want to play against like have a really hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the delayed Yuxi, like Yuxi was like such a weird pick. I was like spending like an hour looking at the board. I looked at like so many options, like Miltank, Chansey, Blissey. Like I wanted like something that could set rocks.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't
Yeah.
want to spend like a ton of points. But I just couldn't find a single thing that like really fit my team.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went like through it. I'll get Yuxi. I know it's good.
Oh yeah.
In low tier, you can probably do like a lot of fun stuff with offensive sets as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I
and at
mean,
least for the top six, I'm like super happy.
yeah, it's a really solid top six. I will say Whimsicott with the utility in spades. You can bring a different utility set every week. You can have the encore. You can have
Uh-huh.
the potential of weather and terrain if you really wanted it. You have, and like you said with low tier, with Uxie, you can actually run more offensive sets because you're so bulky. You have time to set up. And I feel like that also holds true for the Whimsicott because a lot of times you do see it taking more of a support role. But in low tier, you slap on a Life Orb choice specs and suddenly those moon blasts are really hard to switch into because I don't know if you've looked at the board that much, but there's not a whole lot of big name steel types around. There's a couple Agrons floating around, but I feel like that Whimsicott can put in a surprising amount of work going into this.
Yeah, I hope so. I've seen Whimsicott do really well in PGL before. I think I'm not sure who picked it up. Like, if it was like a fan. I think Hawatos has picked it up a few times,
Mm-hmm.
but I might be misremembering. So I'm really excited to see how it does as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fantastic. And then you picked a Pokemon that was on and off of my plate as the draft went on that I considered, and then I was like, no, I probably shouldn't. And then I was like, I really want to, but no, I probably shouldn't. And that's the Terra Poliwrath. Poliwrath is a Pokemon that I feel like has been ignored for so long by its own creators. Like it feels like it didn't get a lot of the stuff that it should have got. It didn't get a good fighting move until what, Gen 8 is when it got close combat.
I think so,
So
yeah.
like it's just it was been so ignored, but I think it has a really good potential in this low tier. So let me know like what was your thinking going into that? What are you feeling like? What role are you thinking it's going to fill to help you with kind of it's a later pick, but I think it's a really solid tier captain.
Yeah, it was like a really late pick, but it was on my list I think since maybe round 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I wanted something that was like really good into water types, even
Mm-hmm.
though like there's not a lot of strong water types in low tier, or at least offensive ones.
Mm-hmm.
I still wanted something that could deal with like water types and can actually also take like an ice beam.
Yeah.
And so I had Poliwrath and Lapras like on my list, and so I was like, if one of them gets taken, I'll just pick the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably turn it into a Terra Captain.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I maybe should have picked Lapras first, because now both my Terra Captains are kind of like bulk up merchants at like the exact same speeds here.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, that's interesting.
but
Yeah.
so I'm just, yeah, so I'm hoping it's not gonna be too much of an issue, because like just a fast Encore Mon is just gonna scan and stop both of them. But maybe it'll be alright. I think it's definitely more of a defensive pick than like actually something that I'm gonna use very offensively. But
Yeah.
who knows? If there's like a good matchup, I can bring like Belly Drum or whatever, or some other fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I really like the strategy of taking a Terra Captain that has an ability that gives it an inherent immunity or resistance to types, because I feel like then it's really synergistic with becoming another type. So you've got the Go-Goat, as you alluded to. I used Go-Goat one time and reversed a 6-0 with ground type, because then you're still weak to that water and ice, of course, but you have that grass immunity in the sap sipper, so you really get to shut down a lot of your typical weaknesses. And then exact same idea with Poliwrath. You could go something like ground or fire with it and maintain that water immunity. Just make it a lot harder for your opponent to deal with if they don't have good coverage otherwise. So I really like the concept there. Maybe, yeah, they do perform kind of similar roles, but that also gives you some extra room for the flexibility. So you could run like a band, or, yeah, I mean, who knows, even a scarf, or some other kind of offset on one of them and really catch your opponents off guard because they do the same thing. Your opponents are going to get comfortable prepping for a certain way they're going to act, right?
Hopefully, yeah. Let's see.
We can hope, right? And then, of course, we can't finish out this kind of mini draft analysis, without talking about the 1-point Terra Captain Yanma. I adore that pick. Yanma is in my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time, but I've never gotten to use it in a way that makes sense. I wanted to use it in Little Cup last season when you got the championship, but I just it's so weird. It's such a weird little mon, but it's so adorable. So let me know, like, if you're gonna bring it, at all of this season as that 1-point Terra Cap. What do you think are its strengths? What do you think it can do for you?
Oh, I so hope I'm gonna bring it. It's always like the case with these low tiers. You always hope you're gonna bring it 1 or 2 games, and I'm really gonna try if possible. Originally, I actually wanted to get Murkrow, unsurprisingly.
Yeah,
that was obviously like the best 1-pointer, maybe the next Licky on the board.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it got sniped like right before me. So I just spent like a while looking through all the 1-pointers, and surprisingly, Yama was on there.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's a 1-pointer. Like the other ones aren't going to do anything. Yama maybe has a shot of doing something on my team, especially because the Raptor puts like a lot of pressure on like the flying resists. So hopefully, he can like break down a few of those, and maybe a late game Yama with choice packs and speed boost can pull off a little sweep in the end. But
oh, I hope so. I want to see that so badly. I love the Yanma. I think I've talked with a couple other coaches that have taken multiple flying types, and I think bird spam is definitely in the meta this season because birds are so hard to deal with in low tier. There's just not good resist. So the fact that you have the premium Staraptor, but you also have the backup like potential Terra flying like Yanma spam is just, it's so good. I'm looking forward to it. I hope to see it do work. So that being said, we've alluded to other coaches. So it looks like one of the coaches that I actually talked to yesterday, Killer Jays, had 2 of the Terramons you were considering with the Lapras and the Murkrow. So maybe that's someone you could see as a little bit of a rival, see if you can out-Terra him. But are there other teams on the board that you're looking at that you're thinking, these are really difficult teams? I know schedule's out. I haven't had a good chance to analyze it. But are there any teams that you're either excited or maybe even scared to play against this upcoming season?
I mean, there's a lot of people I'm scared to play. I think I'm playing J-Scurf, and I think J-Scurf is the person I'm most afraid of. Like I was saying earlier, the Starmie I think is very, very good. And I know he's also like a very good player. I've heard he's been playing in like the big leagues for the last half a year maybe or something. So I'm very excited to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Is there other teams? I mean, I was also looking at Killer Jays. I'm not sure if I play him. I think I do, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm hoping to get revenge for all the snipes. He even took my Standler. That gave me the win last season.
He did. Wow.
So,
yeah, that feels a little intentional, doesn't it? It feels like he's just stealing all of your thunder.
A little bit. He's coming for my crown, so he's not gonna get it quite so easily.
Yeah. That's really funny. And yeah, J-Scurf, absolutely a person to beat. He among a lot of accolades is one of the top Smogon draft players right now. He had a team tour or like something like that where he brought Canada a win as like their team captain. So yeah, definitely someone to look out for. Yeah, so let's see. Looking at that, then, we know we've got a lot of strong teams, a lot of strong Pokemon were taken, but as with most draft boards, there's a lot of heat left on the board that no one ran with. So I don't know if you've had a chance to look over the board since the draft concluded, but are there any Mons, and it could be high tier, it could be kind of some of those middling Mons that kind of seem like they got brushed over, or even some of the Terra captains that never got taken. Any of those stand out to you as kind of shocking that they didn't go to anyone through the draft?
I mean, there's a lot of them I'm like really shocked about it didn't go. A lot of like good flying types as well. I think Kilowatt Troll and Talonflame. Like to me, they're both like draft staples really.
Yeah.
Especially like their speed tier in like a low tier kind of formats. I'm really surprised that like they're still available. Because obviously I couldn't really pick him with Staraptor on my team, unless I wanted to go like really hard on the burst fam.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. With Talonflame specifically, it could have been 5 points, and I wouldn't have taken it because I've already used it so much this gen. So
Yeah, no, that's fair.
yeah, but yeah, what else
You,
is making sense?
I mean, in the high tiers, like stuff like low kicks, I felt like would be a very good pick, or like for Relegator, Hatterene, just like something that's like super solid that you can never really like go wrong with.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it just didn't really fit on people's teams.
Yeah, that's true.
So trying to look at like the low tier, like some of the Terra captains, like stuff like Vigoroth and like Dunsparce, I think, were like available for Terra.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of surprised those weren't really taken, because usually you do see people like to get like those really bulky normal types. And maybe it's because it's NetX and like Toxic is very widely available. Those are
Mm-hmm.
like less desired than usual. Because I haven't been really playing a lot of NetX this generation.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good call out.
Those are the main ones
Yeah,
that I
no
was really
one.
surprised to see.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no one has mentioned those bulky normals yet, but that is a really good call out because, I mean, they could technically Terra Poison, but there's a lot of Terra types you want as a normal. It's usually Ghost, really. So yeah, being so weak to Toxic and pretty much every mon on the board getting Toxic definitely devalues them a little bit. So yeah, I wonder. I guess more people than me were probably in that NetDex headspace because I definitely picked a couple mons that could definitely be toxic fodder as we move forward. Um, yeah, so all really good shout outs. Definitely though, a lot of these mons I feel like that people are calling out. I feel like it's only going to take a couple weeks, and if a couple teams have kind of a bad start, they may want to switch up their draft, and I think some of the mons you mentioned could definitely be the ones that go that people rebuild their team. They use all 5 of those transactions and just flip their team and suddenly turn maybe a team that wasn't performing how they wanted into something that gets them into playoffs.
Yeah, it's always fun to see people like kind of revamp their whole team and like get success with the new stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I think we actually only had one coach so far use transactions in Cham. He went ahead and used about 3 of his, but everybody else, they're still sitting on a whole, they could revamp half of their team. So definitely a lot of changes potentially to be made.
Exciting.
Is very exciting. So yeah, that's we've pretty much gone through the interview. Very efficient. I appreciate your answers. So I guess before we close out, do you have anything else you want to say? Anything you'd want to say to your fellow coaches or to the viewers before we sign off?
Well, first to the other coach, of course. Good luck in the season. I'm coming in as the defending champion, so I'm feeling the pressure to perform, and I'm not gonna go down easily. Of course, I'm gonna try my hardest to make playoffs. We'll see if it happens. Because I am actually super busy and I don't really have time for the league, but I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah, I mean,
it's gonna be a fun time, I'm sure. Like everyone in this league is like super fun to play with. Everyone is super chill. I'm just looking really forward to playing again.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're so happy.
Of course, also.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Just want to also like just thank you to like Meme and all the people just running the league for all the work they're putting in. Like I know it's a lot of work running this league. And also thank you to you as well for just doing these interviews.
Oh yeah.
It's stuff like this that really makes like a league really fun to play in and make it really feel like alive and like you're playing for something more than just, I guess, random street cred in Pokemon Discord servers.
Right. Yeah, of course. I mean, I've been around PGL for a little while now, and this is my favorite. This is what I consider like home league, right? And I know our cadence isn't as often. Everybody's busy. This is like an older league, I feel like, in terms of like the general age of the players. So like, as you alluded to, a lot of us don't have time to prep like we used to when we could go hard. So I really wanted to give everybody time to kind of speak their piece, talk their team. Everybody loves the building process and loves thinking through all the pieces, but that's not always reflected when everybody's in a rush. So you're just talking in general chat a little bit, and then your team may not do as well as you expect. And so I like letting people highlight and really talk about something that they enjoy, yeah, people will definitely be targeting you because you have that crown on your head. You're gonna be looking to keep that crown. I think you've got a great chance to make it into playoffs. And go ahead and get a back-to-back. I don't know that we've ever had a back-to-back in PGL.
I don't think so.
Okay.
People talk about it. It's never happened before.
Well, there you go. You've got a high goal set for you this season, and I'm wishing you the best of luck as we get into battles this week.
Thank you, you and all the others as well.
Yeah, of course.
Good luck and fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and we will see you all in the next interview. Thanks for listening.